Testing. Yes, here we are. We're back. We're back, and I'm delighted and excited to have two. So it was two ladies before, another two ladies, another three ladies, and so anyway, so far surrounded by ladies all morning. I love it. Thank you, Conni, and thank you, Carey, for being here.
You're welcome.
So, quick intro. Conni is a leading authority in the field of pain-free living, and her transformational movement merges Pilates, meditation, and mindset. And again, God, we know we need a lot of meditation, a lot of mindset. Yeah. And then Carey is a speaker, author, entrepreneur, and creator of the Do It on Purpose and Vision-Driven Life Moments. She helps people identify their dreams and goals, which is so important in life. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I was saying before that obviously, independently of whatever is going on, and how things are changing so quickly and this new reality that we all have, what have you done, obviously, because at the end of the day, they think, oh, he or she's an author, a coach, a mentor, they have all the answers. Well, we don't. We do have moments of uncertainty ourselves. How is this new reality, how it has affected you, and obviously how and what are you doing in order to obviously, kind of really do what you normally do, which is trying to help others? How's it affected you personally? And then what are you doing professionally differently than you were a couple of days ago?
Yeah. Well, I have an empty studio behind me. I'm usually filled with people coming to classes for groups and privates. So I don't have anyone here. So I had to obviously quickly adjust the minute we started, people couldn't come into the studio. I started making videos and I started putting everything online. So I have a YouTube station, which has videos for people. And then as of Monday, I'm going to be shooting out content to everyone that signs up, 10-minute videos, movement, meditation, inspiration, to keep people focused and just moving forward and to adapt as quickly as possible. Obviously, we had to disrupt our lives. So now, how can we jump quickly into what our new reality is going to be for the next months, whatever. So that's pretty much what.
Absolutely. What about you, Carey?
Same, I've been used to being out speaking and networking and doing my own workshops. And of course, all of that got wiped off the calendar. So quickly adjusted everything to virtual, have been doing back-to-back webinar type workshops and a lot of Zoom. I've been sitting in this seat pretty much 24/7 for the past week, just to stay connected, keep reaching out to people, most especially talking about vision. And why now more than ever people need to take the time, especially now, to write their visions on paper, get really, really crystal clear about what they want their future to look like, and to start making those shifts, because so many people wait until they have to and then it's too late. So this is the perfect time to take the time to, really get it out of their head and onto paper.
Yeah, and it's the same thing is we had a panel before, and this is the time, and we were sharing some great ideas there around, obviously this is a time to get things done, so you can either be focusing on what you can't do, or you can be focusing on what you can do. And I think a lot of us probably wanted to do so many things, or been procrastinating about doing so many things, and we haven't necessarily done it. When it comes down, obviously, to the vision, Carey, and obviously having, clear goals, share some of the strategies that you would normally work with people in helping do that, and something that people could obviously practice and do from home that will hopefully get them to start focusing on that, on what they ultimately want to achieve and what their purpose is or should be in life.
Right. So I have an exercise, a very simple, fun exercise that I have walked thousands of people through. And it's in the shape of an ice cream cone. So I get people to think 3 years out specifically. So I get them to take a piece of paper, simple piece of paper, and draw what looks like an ice cream cone. The ice cream scoop on top and then the cone underneath. The part at the top, I get them to date it as if it's 3 years out. So I give them a target. So if we were to say, I want you to think 3 years from now, what does that look like? How old will you be? How old will your kids be? How old will your grandkids, your parents, grandparents, anybody you love, start thinking about ages? Because there's two things we know for sure that are non-negotiable: time and aging. time is ticking, 24 hours in a day. We all only have that, and we are all going to be 3 years older, God willing, if we decided to come back onto the Zoom 3 years from now.
Yeah.
So the reason I get them to think about that is because it's a target that is coming. And most people don't think about that. And when they start thinking 3 years out, especially when I get them to think about ages, they start seeing some shifts coming in their life. Some shifts coming in the family dynamic, coming with their ages, with the ages of their kids and their loved ones. And so I get them to think, if this is where you're going to be age-wise 3 years, start crafting for me in as much detail as possible what your life looks like in every area, your family life, your faith life, your fitness, your finances. And the more detail you can give it inside that little scoop, the better it is. Because right after that, we can go down into the cone of the ice cream and start laying down quantitative 1-year goals, 6-month goals, and the all magical 90-day goals. So I really work with people thinking a lot about, okay, let's look further out so we can reverse the plan, reverse engineer the plan, so that you know intentionally right now, today, what is the most important thing and what is the best use of your time today.
That's great advice. And what is the best use of your time today? I think planning and having a obviously kind of like a schedule, especially if you because I mean, you know, you're a coach, you know, you speak, but you know, but you've also done a lot of Zoom meetings and you've done a lot of videos and so is Carey. But I think for someone that, you know, might not have done that for a living, that maybe worked 9 to 5 and, you know, sat in an office or engaging with people or traveling, you know, this is obviously a completely new experience to them. So I suppose having a clear objective of what they want to do and get out of their day, that's where it would start with, wasn't it? Is what do they want to get out of every day? And I suppose compartmentalize somehow, you know, the use of that time. So they're obviously, you know, putting something towards that best version of themselves, if that's something that they want to do. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is getting really clear on time blocking. And it's interesting you bring that up, Bernardo, because I did a webinar last night and I've been talking to a lot of people all week that major shifts have happened. And I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years. I've worked from home for a very, very long time, raising kids and the whole thing. So I'm used to time blocking and being really structured with my time, and I don't get distracted at home because I learned that a long time ago. What I'm finding is people, like you were just saying, that they've been, you know, a structure where they went to work and worked there and then came home and did family life, that they now are being forced to work from home and they are really struggling with, okay, how do you manage this? Like, how do you not get distracted with wanting to go do the dishes or, you know, the kids are pulling at you? And so I'm probably going to do another webinar because so many people have asked me around, all right, how do you time block? How do you prioritize? And the best tip I can give, just one, is the first hour of your day is quiet time.
Absolutely.
Before
Sorry to get in there. Absolutely. If you don't, that's the most important thing I think that anyone and everyone should do.
Yes. Yeah. Because in the quiet time, number one, I can get my head on straight. I can get my heart in the right place. And I can think out my day and I can time block the day in priority. You know, I can prioritize it because, like all of us, I have many plates spinning, lots of projects going on all at once. And so what I have to get real about is that there's only so many hours in the day. And so what are the top 3 things that have to get done that day? And then I time block it in when it's going to get done. And when I time block those things in, I don't do anything else. I don't allow for the distractions unless it's an emergency.
That's very important. And I would recommend, actually, just because it's a little bit in context, is the 4-hour week. Great book. And also, well, it teaches you simply to obviously make sure that you allocate specific times to doing specific things, and then you delegate some things to others. So Carey, what are you doing personally? Obviously, you know, kind of, it's all shifted for all of us, but what are you taking? What are the advantages of this downtime for you, and how are you using this to kind of like, Conni, how are you planning in implementing a lot of this into kind of this new future and this new reality of your business?
Was that for
Connie.
Carey? Oh,
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. You know, I'm doing most of my online training is now FaceTime and Zoom. So I'm scheduling that. But what it's making me do, it's really putting me to the mat to say, is to making all the videos I've been wanting to make.
Right.
And the content that I've like, oh, you know, I have to do that. And there was like, I hit the ground running. There was no question. I put together this whole package to shoot content out to my clients so they didn't feel like they were just lost. And, you know, Carey, exactly, I totally agree with that. First beginning of the day is quiet. I tell people, don't pick up this phone when you wake up. This will take and hijack your day. Go into silence, go into meditation, go into clarity, and let that lead your day.
Yes.
So it's made me just shift. I'm probably working harder right now than I ever have. Just different. It's different. Absolutely. Right? Don't you feel that way, Carey?
Oh,
I mean,
like I've said, I've been stuck in this chair pretty much all week, just shifting all my energy to a lot of this, a lot of Zooms, a lot of webinars, a lot of phone calls. It's all good because it keeps you really busy and the mind going. And I'm not watching the news.
So Connie, in your case in particular, because, you know, kind of with a lot of us are helping, you know, so you've gone out to your clients and you're reaching out to them. And a lot of people, you know, again, it's scary because I know a lot of the stuff that you do might be around, you know, people that aren't necessarily well or helping people to overcome it. So what's your advice for someone that, you know, because unfortunately, you've seen this happen in countries around the world where people that have illnesses, you know, are put on the side because, you know, unfortunately the hospitals are overcrowded with people. So what's the best tips and advice that you could give to people in order to kind of like, you know, get through this period of time when it's a bit more challenging for hospitals and things?
So I teach the art of self-care, and boy, has that shifted. So our self-care is paramount right now. You have to drink water. You have to eat healthy food. You have to nourish your body. You have to take time for yourself. You really have to put on your oxygen mask first. You have to make sure you're moving your body. Someone texted me today, you know, kind of time blocking, but how often do I get up? So if you're sitting at your desk for 10 hours, every hour, I want you standing up. I want you doing, you know, I have a whole little system here of leg squats and desk push-ups, something like that. Walk around your room just to get the blood flowing and then get back to work. So it's important because people are now going to the refrigerator every hour. You're at home. I'm bored, so therefore I'm hungry. So you really have to make a schedule of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, eat healthy food, lots of water. You've got to rest. Keep your alcohol level down because we're building up our immune system. We're really trying to fight something. We want to be ready for it. And so we've got to move. And then in our quiet time, in our meditation, we really have to focus on how strong we are, how safe we are, and how loved we are.
I love that. That's great advice. And I think a lot of I always say when I work with people is that my approach is the holistic approach. And I mean by that is everything and anything that you do is who you are. So obviously, you know, the content that you watch or the articles that you read, that obviously, you know, the food that you eat, the exercise that you do, it's all part of obviously, you know, having that approach of being complete. And I think a lot of people tend to underestimate, you know, it's not great to eat, you know, 3 cakes a day or, you know, 2 packets of chips and 4 plates of pasta and go to the fridge every 5 minutes. Quite rightly. So this is great advice. And I think it's also very important for people to appreciate that, you know, as you were quite rightly pointing out, you know, exercising is important, but it's also about making sure that you take care of your immune system. I mean, we had a professor that I'm not sure, you know, was interested in speaking at the Best You Expo, and his whole teachings are around the importance of vitamin C. And he was just saying, you know, to make sure that you have really high dosages of vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams every day. If you have a very good, strong immune system, it's going to be easier for you, you know, not to even get it. And again, what you focus on expands. Okay. So if you're focusing on who's going to give me the bloody virus, well, you know what? You're going to find someone down the street and he's going to give it to you. But, you know, if you focus on this is not going to affect me, it's not going to be with me, and it's not going to be with me. And then if it did happen, then again, focus on the outcome, which is it's going to be okay. I'm going to get over this, you know? So that's...
We have 50 trillion cells in our body, and they're listening to everything we have to say.
Thank you. So what would you say then, Connie? What's next? What is the next chapter for us? Because, you know, quite rightly, we've been pointing out that this could be a little bit longer. You know, it's going to take time. We have to take a day at a time, and we have to still stay positive, which is difficult because, you know, kind of like I'm here today and I can actually see that there's some people watching because, you know, it could be me on my own talking to myself, you know, and a lot of people are like that, you know. So how do we stay focused? How do we keep an eye on the prize?
I think we make sure we connect. You know, as human beings, we were meant to connect. So doing this, listening to other people, picking up the phone, we can still talk to people. And I think that's extremely important. As we move a little, as the weather changes for all of us and it gets warmer, I think people's spirits will be lifted a little bit. Hey, listen, this is going to be a long road. It's going to be a challenging road. And so I want people to know that up front so they can put on their seatbelts, but they're ready for the challenge. You know, this started and people were like, oh, you know, it's not that big, you know, big of a deal. And then all of a sudden the reality of it started to hit us. So I think we need to be prepared. We need to be ready for the challenge. But here's the deal. You only get courage, grit, and resilience by going through those opportunities. So let's think of it as an opportunity and let's develop what's going to be on the other side. And maybe, just maybe, something amazing is there.
Exactly. Thank you. And we were talking before, I had Felicia and she was saying, what if this is going to be the shift for humanity? Right. What if this is going to right. make, you know, this new reality of building these beautiful relationships that are so much deeper than they were before, when we appreciate, you know, the value of living, the value of walking, right. the value of going out, the value of connecting with people. So what if this could be, you know, the change to something beautiful, and it's just literally around the corner. So I agree with that. Carey, what's your thoughts? What's next? What's next in the chapter, and what should we stay focused and excited about?
I think we've kind of said this in a few different ways, that it's so important you mind your mind right now.
You mind your mind. I love that. Hashtag.
Yes. Mind your mind, because what you think about, you bring about, and what you focus on expands, which is what you said, Bernardo. It's so easy for people to catch that panic and just pick it up, and they pick it up and then they expand it onto somebody else. And so I really just want to encourage people, which is why I've been going live and doing webinars, and will continue to do so more and more over the next few weeks, because right now so many people need to make a shift in what they're thinking about. And I think the biggest thing is right now people are starting to think that this is all doom and gloom and my future is so uncertain and it looks bad. And I really want to encourage people that you have the potential to create whatever you want your life to look like. Right. And it all starts with you sitting down in a quiet space and writing out everything your heart desires. And use some target dates, because most people do it with like a someday mentality, and that's kind of wishy-washy. And that's why I put dates on things, right?
Yeah, and someday, she didn't say someday, she said the someday mentality, okay? So we need to have, we can't have a someday mentality. We've got to be focusing on when we're doing things and making sure that we put it in that timeline of ours.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you, because I'm going to have to leave soon. Would you recommend, because I've been doing this with a couple of guests, some books that you would recommend people to read that have helped you in your journey to where you are today?
I love The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma.
The Fighting Club by Robin Sharma?
5 a.m. Club.
Oh, the 5 a.m. Club. Yes.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Sharon Lecter, Bernardo. So one of my new favorite books is her book, Think and Grow Rich for Women. And I also love this book by Zach Mercurio, The Invisible Leader. You would like this a lot. It's all about purpose. So those are two books. I've actually been giving them away in my webinars. Brilliant.
Well, if you're so kind, when we finish this, please go below and recommend those books. Write them down for us, please. Both of you. And listen, I want to thank you so much. Thank you for the great work. I'm very excited to have met you, to know you both personally, and I'm obviously excited to have you speaking at the Best You Expo, which is back on the 7th and 8th of August. And again, some of you that think, oh my God, you know, that's not going to even happen. Yes, it is. You know, we've been getting people, well, there's not going to be planes anymore. Yes, people will continue to fly. Okay, we can't fly right now, but you know, we're going to get back. it's all going to come back. And,
Yes,
and that's
is.
what I believe in. And that's the
will.
story that I'm sticking to. And
I agree.
And look, we have to stay positive. So having those negative thoughts, trust me, they're just not going to help you.
Right.
Yep.
So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And for those of you that are watching, I'm going to be back here in another 5-6 minutes. And remember, the whole idea around this group is the Best You Expo community group. It's a place where everything we do, well, basically we do from a place of love, we do from a place of honesty, where we believe that positivity is king, and everything has to be done from that place of love of honesty. And it's also a place where we don't allow, so hashtag no negativity, hashtag no ego.
Right.
But what we want is we want you coaches, you trainers, you therapists, you authors to come in here and share. Okay, so our hashtag that's going to move from here to a campaign is that the Best You is the food bank for the soul. And what I want is I want you all to contribute with free coaching, with free books, with free training. No ulterior motive, no upselling here. I want you to share that here in this Best You Expo community. So then people that are seeking, looking, need help can come here and grab it, okay? And well, I've already mentioned we're giving a lot of stuff away. We're giving free access to the Best You Online for a month. We've got more than 700 Expo talks there. That will keep you busy. I'm giving 100 of my books, the new book, The Question, the Audible coming out, and so on and so on. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank you both ladies for being here, and can't wait to see you soon.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Take care. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.